Have you ever noticed back in high school, you were social, you had tons of friends, and now this generation kind of feels like it's becoming more and more isolated. People aren't really interacting, and you guys are going to see exactly why I'm saying this. But enough being said, let's go ahead and dive right into it. One of the biggest things that I think is adding to social isolation, keep in mind I'm not going to throw in all the points, I'm going to just throw a couple of them that I think are really important. One of them is going to be your environments. So going back to those high school days, when you think about it, you were sent there to school to get an education, but you were also interacting with people. You were there about 8 hours a day, and see, that added to interacting, getting to meet people, getting to know them. So like if you were to end up going to work, you would start making more friends. Of course, there's age differences. Then the other thing that's adding to that social isolation is going to be social media and technology. I'm going to break this down into two parts. So with social media, you no longer need to be interacting with your friends. You can just view their life from your phone, and you don't even need to interact with them. You stay up to date, and it's one of those things that you have to think about it. It's making more and more of our generation isolated. I notice this like when I go out to restaurants. You notice people constantly on their phones, and pretty much it's like, what the heck, you guys aren't even talking. Everybody at that group, at that table, they're all on their phones just scrolling, and it's like, why are you guys even eating out together? The other major factor is technology just in general. This is something that I've been noticing. Nobody has critical thinking. They don't have time to just think for themselves, and we're always overloading our mind. So if you haven't noticed, everybody pretty much has a smartphone, and they also have a TV. And this is what I noticed within myself. I'm like, whoa, I'm always constantly keeping my mind occupied. If I'm bored, what do? I hop on my phone and I start looking at memes or, these reels, just entertainment. And you'll have different activities, different hobbies. You'll be like, oh, okay, I like using my computer, playing PC, or a console, or watching movies. The thing is, all these little technologies start adding up, and they start taking away time from yourself. And when you add that to everybody else, well, people are always constantly busy, and they don't have time for each other. When you think back, way before technology, way before TVs, if you guys seen the original TVs, they're like a big old square brick, and now you have flat screens, and now you can honestly just watch movies straight off your phone. But if you're to go to a time before that, I know a lot of the older generation, you guys never had smartphones. I never had a smartphone when I was growing up. In today's generation, everybody has a smartphone, and I understand that's the way how we're kind of leading to, but that's making more and more people isolated. They no longer need to interact because they have some sort of entertainment in their life. To put this into perspective, with my phone, I'm going to go work out and all that. I put on headphones, and see, it's technology. It makes me isolated. It makes me unapproachable, more than likely not to going to interact with people, and people are going to just avoid you in general. And see, that's the thing about technology. When everybody does it, you see people with headphones, you're like, oh, okay, don't bug this person, don't even talk to them or nothing. And it makes us more and more isolated as just a whole. Even though I go to the gym and all that, I know quite a bit of people. I take off my headphone and I'm like, hey, what's up, how's it going, and just small talk. But today's generation doesn't even know how to do small talk. The other thing you need to take into consideration is people become more focused on their life. And this is something that you guys will notice as you start aging, is that one day you're going to end up reflecting on your life, and you're going to be like, what the heck did I do with it? And people start going their own directions. They start getting into bills, starting families, and they just become so focused and isolated just on whatever they're focusing on. And that's going to add to it. It's one of the major things. I mean, if you guys seen, back in your high school days, you're real close with your friends, and then once you got out of high school, you're still close with them, but then eventually you started hanging out with your friends less and less and less, and it's because everybody starts going their own direction. And that's the thing, people don't take the time to think about it, that you're going to be lonely. There's going to be parts where you're going to be surrounded by tons and tons of people, you're going to be interacting, having good times, and you're not going to even be thinking about loneliness. But then there'll be times where you're just like so lonely, you feel like the only person on the planet. You're like, shit, nobody else feels what I'm going through. And you got to understand there's going to be good times and there's going to be bad times. And it's just a matter of dealing with it. I know when it starts getting lonely, you feel isolated, there's nobody to talk to. But it's one of those things that it's only going to last for a little bit. This discomfort is there for a reason. It's showing you that, hey, you need to interact with people. Of course, there's ways that you can overcome it, just ignore it, or just putting yourself in that position to fix the problem, because your body is meant to be socialized. If you guys look back to the older generations, they needed each other, and now in today's generation you don't really need that. You can go to the store and just go get whatever you need, go home and do your own stuff. Anyways, I don't want to take too much of your time. I'm just giving you guys a little bit of what I think is happening. Don't forget, smash that like button, and I'll go ahead and catch you guys in the next one.